Hey. You're muted. Your mute
Right,
button.
good on it. Long
You're
time
welcome.
not see. Oh, I'm muted again.
It's been ages, I tell you.
Me now, guys. Yeah, I know. It feels like a while, doesn't it? Welcome, everybody. Christina, do you want to come up?
Why
Want
does
to
it say
take about
stream
3
this
hours?
to your? Why does it say on my thing stream this to your audience?
Because that means that you can actually stream this to your channel as well. Do you want to experiment and hit it and see what happens? Welcome in, Samantha. Do you want to see if it goes out in Chasing Bones Inspectors as well?
Well, I don't know. It sounds too much
It's up
like
to
work.
yourself if you can be bothered. Yeah. We've
It
just
sounds like
set up the Facebook group on Uncle Danny's StreamYard. So it will be going out on Ghost Squad as well, guys, okay? Yeah, so we have been live tonight on Chasing Bones Inspectors as well, guys. If you check that out after the stream. We also were just live on Ghost Squad Scotland on YouTube. So remember, check out all those streams as well after this one, of course. Welcome in, GR Official. Oh, okay, no problem. Christina has a lot of spirits there that's waiting to cross over.
okay.
She is going to teach me after this stream, guys. So I'll be busy.
All right, let's see who's
Yeah, we were
here.
live on Ghost Squad to talk about tarot and that.
Hey,
You should
Christina.
write a book on it.
Hi, Samantha. Hi,
Jerry's
Iron.
going to come up as well. She'll come up once. She's going to share some links first. Welcome in, everybody. I'll let you all get in.
Hi, JR.
Sherry's going to come up as well.
I think I said hi to Iron, but I'll say it again. Yeah. Doot.
Oh, sorry, PWI. This was in the other chat. You cookie. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you. Remember to share out as well after the stream. It all helps, guys. See if you just share out even before the stream and after it all does help, honestly. A lot of people get fed up sharing and things, but once you see the algorithms, if you stop sharing, you notice a big difference. Thank you, guys. Mystical Loving Light. I don't know if Mystical's coming up. Are you coming up, Mystical? I've sent you the link on your email if you are. It's understandable if you don't want to, but that's fine. I know it's dinner time a lot of places. Oh, did you miss Uncle Danny's? It was good. It was interesting. Yeah, always is. Well, maybe we could talk a bit about spirit guides and the levels of spirit guides if you want, Uncle Danny, because I've had a wee bit of confusion trying to explain to people that there's a difference between your spirit guides, deities and things. Do you want to touch on a wee bit about that? About the different things that you not worship, the different things that you can call in to help your path, if you like.
Yeah. Well, first is the first one that everybody has when they're born, obviously, is your guardian spirit, right? So that's a guide in a sense. So your guardian spirit could be a guardian angel or it could be an ancestor of yours that guards over you, right? So that's one of your guides.
Yeah.
Can be like a guardian spirit, like a guardian angel, right? Then you can have your totems or your animal spirits, okay? And usually there's up to three of them. But like for me, I got the Ferguson hawk and I got the white wolf Alba and well, particular white wolf anyway, and then I got my mountain lion, right, Mabala. So we got those animal
Yeah.
spirits, right? Now, basically, what they do is they'll teach you. They're like teachers. They're totems. They teach you ways of life and the ways that they do things and values and stuff. So, like a wolf, obviously, is going to teach you that family is the most important thing, and you got to take care of your pack, and you got all these different things. The hawk will teach you that freedom doesn't come from a place; it comes from within. Without being free inside, you'll never be free outside. All these type of things you can learn from your animal spirits, right? And your animal spirits also walk beside you, and they're the things that make you react. You know how you're walking down a dark alley and you get this shiver up your back and you turn and go the other direction?
Yeah.
That's because your animal spirit blocks your path and it kind of leans on you to make you aware that there's danger ahead, right? So that's one. That's the second part is the totems or the animal spirits. Then you got your guides, okay? So your spirit guides, which could be anything or anyone, right? So for me, it's Astro and Shakara and Mabala, and all them. Those are my spirit guides, right? So they're the ones that, basically they take care of all the other crap, right? And then of course I got grandfather, right? My grandfather spirit, who kind of keeps everybody else in order, right? So your grandfather spirit is kind of like a balance to help you to figure out who should I be listening to at this point. If you think of where you're sitting and someone goes like this and then points to a person and saying, well, this person is the one that should be talking right now, right? So that would be your grandfather spirit. And your grandfather teaches you about protection, about family, helps you on your path and says, that type of stuff, right?
Right.
And of course, you got your paranormal guide, which will be the spirit that goes, like with you, it's timber, go on your place, right? And then, of course, the things you believe in, your deities and stuff, that's the top tier, right? So whoever you believe in or whatever you believe in, whether it's Lady Death, whether it's a horse, whether it's a head of cabbage, whether it's God, that's your deities up top. Mother Earth, Father Sky, whatever your deities are, right? They're on that spot, right? So there's and a lot of it for me, I've got all of those because I'm a pastor, I'm a shaman, and a druid, right? So I've got all of those things filled up. But someone who say just a Christian might have Jesus might be the voice in the ear and the one that walks beside them, right? One of the archangels might be their protector or be their guide. So it depends on your belief system on which ones you're going to use, or which ones are open to you to use. Okay, like if you're not a witch,
you call upon things.
Right. If you're not a witch, there's deities in the witchcraft field that you're not going to have in your arsenal, right? Because obviously, if you're not a witch, you're not going to have these deities, right? If you're not a nature druid, if you're not a nature druid, you're not going to have some of the ones that I have, right? If you're a shaman, you're going to have another ones. So with being a nature druid, okay, I've got two sets of totems, right? So again, it's all about where your beliefs lie on which guides you're going to have and which ones you interact with, right? But every guide and every protector,
they have different purposes as well, though, don't they? I mean, some guides don't have the same purpose as other guides.
Yes, they all have a particular, right? Like your guardian spirit, whoever that is, whether it's an ancestor, whether it's a religious symbol, a religious person, whether it's an angel, that is your protecting guide, right? That's your protector. Okay. It's not really a spirit guide
Right.
as much as it is your protector, right? And then your spirit guide on a
Right.
human level, right? On a human level, your spirit guide is going to be an ancestor. So for me, it's grandfather, right? My human guide or
Right.
my
Okay.
human spirit that travels with me will be I call grandfather, right? Now your spirit guide might have been your best friend from high school. It could have been your cousin's brother's sister's aunt, whatever. Your human guide, the guide that goes with you, that
Yeah.
helps your gifts and stuff, right? The guide that works with you on your gifts and teaches you how to use your gifts, that guide is either an ancestor or someone that you feel love for in family, right? That's who that one is, right? For me, it's grandfather,
Right.
right? So that's
Right.
who helps me with all my spiritualism and my gifts, right? And then of course the next,
Right.
like I said, the next group is your totems, your animal spirits that teach you and guide you and protect you, right? Warn you stuff, right? And then you've got your deities on top of that. Okay. So let's say I go on an investigation, right?
Yeah.
So I'm on investigation, I'm going someplace, and I might say, Grandfather, I'm far from my secret land, and I'm not sure what's going to come up. Please walk with me and guide my footsteps so that I do not get lost and I'm able to find my way home, right? That'll be a type of a prayer I'll say to Grandfather, right? So then when I'm
Mhm.
on my investigation, Grandfather's right beside
Yeah.
me, and if he sees danger coming, he warns me, right? If he hears other spirits talking that I don't hear,
Right.
he says, hey, this one just said this or this one just said that, right? So that's what Grandfather does, okay?
Right.
Now, as for Astro and Shakara, they are my, they're kind of in a class of their own, really, but they're kind of a guardian protecting spirit, right? But they're
Yeah.
more than that, they're the book of knowledge. Okay. So when you've got
You're right.
two, when you've got like Aurora will be a book of knowledge. Okay. For example,
Yeah.
like with Pup. If sometimes when you're doing
Yeah.
work or you're doing stuff, you got to come up with something to fix this particular situation. Okay. I might not know the spell. I might not know what to do. I might not know the prayers. But when I'm faced with that, the book of knowledge opens up. So Astro will come and say, do this, right?
Yes.
And
I've
tells me exactly
noticed
what to do
that.
and how much to
You
use
put it in
and
your head.
whatever, right? Same with Pup. When Pup gets in a situation,
Uh,
she's not sure what the hell to do. She's got two guides, that do the same thing. Aurora,
to
obviously,
take over.
you know,
Right.
and I can never say the other one's name. Darmitri? No.
Darius.
Darius.
Darius. Darius. Thank you.
Darius.
Darius.
I can never say that
Yeah.
name. Anyway, uh, who is a
The big
brother
name.
in spirit, right? So Darius is always going to do anything to protect Pup, right? Like when she's down by the river that time, and then there was some bad spirits.
Right.
Darius came and told her run, right? So she ran,
Yeah.
and
He did.
Darius
Yeah.
ran
Right.
right beside her to protect her. In the meantime,
Yeah.
Aurora said, Dad,
Right.
and Astro and Sakara showed up and said, horse shit, you leave my girl alone, right? And between the three of them, danger left quickly. But the point of it,
That was the end of that.
that was the end of that shit, right? But the point is, everybody has that, but not until you get to the point where you can believe in it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not very few people actually get a book of knowledge pair. Okay. That's something that's given to someone who they feel is worthy of their knowledge. They pick you, you don't pick them, right? Like
Yeah.
your
Right.
your your ancestor protector,
Uh-huh.
you pick the person that's going to be your spirit guide. They'll say, okay, it could be this person, that person, and you say, me, I said
Right.
grandfather, obviously, because grandfather's the wisest, right? So I chose grandfather.
Uh-huh.
My animal totems, they lined up and said, you can choose any of us. Here's what we offer, and then you can choose three of them, right? So I chose my animal totems, right?
Right.
My animal totems, though, came
Right.
with extras like red wolf that I could give and timber that I could give because they said, yes, I would be that person's totem, right?
Right.
Not because I said so, because they said so. Timber said, I want to go with Drew. Is that all right?
They wanted it.
Please do. Same with Red Wolf. I want to go with Pup. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Please do. I
I'm
don't do
glad to
anything.
have them.
Right. They chose you guys.
Yeah.
See what I mean? And that's because of
It's amazing the way
my
it all
love
works.
and passion for my totems. You see? So that's what it is. It's just basically 99% of it,
Yes.
of all of it is what you believe. If you don't believe in it, it's not going to happen. If you don't feel it in your heart,
Yeah.
it's not real, right? And people say, well, if you never see or whatever, I said, tell you what, take away oxygen.
Mhm.
You can't see it, you can't feel it, but then after about a minute, you're going to want it back. you know, can't live without it. So yeah, you're going to know it's there, right?
I explain it like Wi-Fi. Yes, you can't see what's the same with the spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to explain a bit about your guides, Sis? Because you've got a few as well, haven't you? You've got elements of some of your guides. Do you want to explain a little bit about how that
Well, I've got
works?
Aura. I've got Aura and Darius. Now you would entwine them as being a brother and sister, but Aura is like the yin yang. She's like the nature, the balance. She's the one that will go and fight if she has to protect me. Where Darius is more of the chilled out one. He's more of the emotion and the thinking and the protecting side of things. Even though Aura does protect me as well, Darius has got the light side as Aura's got both. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't even class as guides. I call
Right.
them my soul protectors and my soul feelings because we are all one thing. I see through
Right,
Aura's and Darius' eyes as they do through mine.
right,
Then obviously you've
Yeah.
got my spirit. You've got my spirit guide, as Pup said, which would be like your ancestors. That would be my nan that always told me her name was Maggie, but her name is actually Sylvia. She looks after me and she's the one that learnt me about my witchcraft in the spiritual form. She's the one that's learnt me to be connected to nature because she was a witch herself. So I have her, and then I have my auntie, which is the light side of that. She's the one that's the like earth side of it. She's not into any sort of
Right.
like witchcraft or anything like that, but she was very farmer orientated, so she knows a lot about
Right.
plants and flowers and how to grow things like that. So she's learnt me the natural side, where my grandmother has learnt
Right.
me the more magical side. Then you
mm,
go to my spirit animals. So obviously you've got Siberia, which is my white wolf. She has one blue eye and one green eye.
Yeah.
Then you've got my owl, which I call Spirit. He's been with me since birth. And then I obviously have my my Robin, which is actually something that's come quite later in life. It's just come quite recently. That's my Robin. And he's there for as knowledge, wisdom, and he's the one
Right.
that kind of makes me go to that point and clears me up a little bit when I'm having a bit of a crappy time. So that's my spirit animals. I do have other animals as
Right.
well, because if the further you go on in your spirituality, the more things you
Uh,
gain. So I do work with a black
See, it's
dragon
funny
and
you
a black
say that
and
though,
a red
because I
eye.
always want thought a dolphin
Yeah,
until I came up here and I remembered that I seen the owl the very first night I moved into this house, and I thought that
yeah.
makes sense. Uh-huh.
And then obviously you've got like I said, you can have other energies that you work with as well. So obviously you're familiar that I work with fairies. Fairies are for the magical side. They are for clarity in my abilities and stuff like that. They really help with my abilities. They really help with understanding nature even more. I've got my dragons. I've got 2 dragons. I've got a red and black dragon, which is called Shadow. And then I've got a green dragon, which is called, I call him Greenie. I don't know why I call him Greenie, but there you go. I have them. Now they are very powerful. They are very powerful entities to have, and that a lot of their energy I use in my magic, and I also use in things to do with healing. I also use it into things to do with nature itself. So if I'm needing to do anything to do with nature, like cleansing it, making it better, or putting something out like that, I will use my dragons because they are a nature element. So I have quite a few, and there are ones that I will call on when I need them, and I know how to speak to them. There's quite a few, but I'm quite far in my spirituality, so that's why.
I
And then
just gotta.
obviously you've got Astro and Shakara as well that comes and looks after me and stuff like that. I've got the connection through them with Aura and Darius. So.
Well, I was gonna say, Jr. How you know if you've got a bad spirit or a bad energy connected to you? The moment, the moment you say, "Do I have a bad spirit connected to me?" When you've got to ask that question, 99 times out of 100 you do. The moment you feel it, the moment and it seems to linger, then that's it right there. You definitely have it. Um, they will come and go. They might be with you for a year or two and disappear, but then they might come back and hang out for another 6 months and disappear and come back. They do that too, right? But there is something connecting you to that energy, right? So now, whether it's a bad spirit, an angry human being, ancestral curse, it could be any type of energy, but it is tethered to you somehow. You got to break the tether to get rid of it.
Yes.
And yes, it makes perfect
Got
sense.
to find the cord and cut it. To get that.
Oh, and obviously I have my beautiful red wolf
I'm
as well,
trying to
which is
find stuff.
connected to my shaman side.
All the wolves, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out my guides as well. I know Timber. Timber, I know, is always here. Timber's my main go-to, I feel. He's obviously my spirit totem. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
but I also remembered that I had the owl that appeared the night I moved into this house. I was actually sitting at the window, just as you do the very first night you're in a house, you just kind of look around, and I was looking out that window, and it sat right on the lamp post. So I've got that. I don't know. I've never named it. And I've got my raven, which is Roger. He's
There you go.
he makes himself known quite a lot, but in saying that, I've not seen him for a while. I haven't seen Roger around for a while. So he's maybe died as an animal, but he's in his spirit form now. So I definitely feel as if I've got those 3, which is the owl, my wolf,
Yeah, and even if
and
they
the
do die in
raven.
that, they still very much are
But as
connected
for
to
my
you.
guides, I know it's my grand.
Yeah, that's
Even
definitely
if they
your
die,
Still
they're
figure.
still,
figuring out
they're
who
still
all my guides
connected.
are. I hear them, but I don't know their voices. What are you saying,
Because
Uncle
that's what
Dan?
happened.
Sorry.
Sorry, Pops.
I was just saying, yeah, those are your 3
It's
animal
okay.
totems.
It's because it's coming and going, guys. Sorry for talking over. Did I get that comment back up? Where's
And you get a lot of people that are confused about their animal totems because a lot of them are living. And then they're like, well, what happens when they die?
apologise,
Does that
guys.
mean
There
that we
is a
have to get a
lag.
new one?
That's
And
it.
you don't have to get a new one. Once your animal totem's your animal totem, that's it. You know, once they die, they just become part of you in a spirit form. That's what happened to my owl. I used to see my owl all the time. When she died, she became the spirit form of it. So you still keep your totem.
Yeah, I just know that the reason I know that the raven I seen is one of my guides, guys, is Uncle Danny's obviously getting a coffee. The reason I know is because when I first moved up here into this house, I was getting a bit of trouble off my neighbour, and the raven would fly about out the front, and it would sit on her fence. And then when I was walking around, I would see it all over the place, and it was a big raven. It's not as if it was like a wee raven. You knew this was a big magical thing. And then one day, she had my next door neighbour had came out, and she had been shouting at me for some reason or another, probably Liam with his ball or something. And I kid you not, the raven came out the sky. It flew right past our car. It looked at me and then it went offloaded a big white poo right onto our windscreen. And it looked at me again, and I swear it connected to me, and as if to say, I did that for you. And I swear, if God strike me down dead, that is what I heard in my head. And from then on, I kept seeing them everywhere. So I know the raven is definitely one of my guides. I know I felt it the day that it pooed on our windscreen. You're like,
Yeah,
it's
and
true.
that's how a lot of them, a lot of you will find out what your totem is, because you'll notice you'll find it in a living format first normally, and it's normally like an animal or something that you see regularly, like it's constant, and they come at certain times, like Drew's saying, like when you're having trouble or anything like that, they seem to just show up out the blue, and they're there. Like, yeah, that's how you know they're your
It was
totems, because
crazy.
they've got that connection. And you'll hear them talking to you.
And
You
it
might
was
think it's
so
crazy,
weird
but
as
they
well,
do.
guys. It sat on the fence. Do you remember? I
Mhm.
can't remember if it was your tale or Christopher, but it used to sit on her fence, and it was as if it was looking in the window of her house, and then I would look at it sitting on the fence, and it was as if it was trying to tell me what she was doing. And then within about an hour or something, the council would come out, and I think, do you know, Roger was trying to tell me she was up to something. It's
I
Mhm.
remember
these
you
wee
telling me
things
something
that you
about that,
place
sis,
back
that
together.
I think that was, I do remember you saying that to me. You say like your totem told on your neighbour, sort of, but you didn't realise until it happened.
It's things
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
because I keep smelling honeysuckle, I do believe my gran is one of my guides as well. Because anytime I've been somewhere, like we were at the abandoned mansion, and I could smell honeysuckle out in the middle of nowhere. We were up on the second floor, and I thought that's my gran's smell. So I do believe that she's one of my spirit
More
protectors,
than likely.
if you like.
If you was
So I'm
close,
still
yeah,
trying to
more
piece
than
it all
likely.
together.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you was
What?
close, yeah, definitely.
Plus, I do feel as if my gran. I think my gran was one of those people that if she was going through her life as of being born, maybe now, I think she would be open witch, if you know. I think she would be
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
spiritual in that way. Whereas because when she was born, I think she went down the the God route and the church route, but dedicated to that. So I always feel as if she would have been the other side if not the other side, that sounds silly. That she would have been like on the more spiritual side of workings and things if she was alive in these days, you know.
Well,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I just get that sense for her. So I do believe it's her that puts all the witchy stuff in me.
More than likely, because that's what my auntie, well, not my auntie, like I said, more with the planting side, but my nan was, Sylvia was that, definitely.
Yeah.
Hang on.
And that's who you sensed, went to Uncle Danny that gave me the tree, wasn't it? The tree to be planted.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Your nan came and said, if you plant this tree, I can help her with her learnings. So I said, done deal. And so that's what we
Yeah.
did.
Evie's is the deer, the doe, and the totem is called
Hmm.
Sally. Nice one.
Yeah.
Luna Rose. If my neighbour annoyed me, I'd ask for a seagull to poop on them. There
That's
you
it.
go. It's
Oh, I wish
interesting
you
in
guys
figuring it
knew
all out as
that.
well. You just have to meditate, I do believe.
Yeah.
and keep turning
That
the spirit
reminds me.
box on and things.
That,
I've
re-
been turning the spirit box on a lot and asking questions.
that reminds me of a song that a little jingle we used to sing when I was a wee lad. Oh, I wish I was a little tiny bird, tiny bird. Oh, I wish I was a little tiny bird, tiny bird. I'd sit up on a steeple and go poof on the people. Oh, I wish I was a little tiny bird.
There you go.
There you go. See?
My gran always called me an old bay wife. Came I loved because fortune telling tarot tea leaves. That's exactly what we were all called in those days. Once it's bay wives.
Mm.
Oh, Danny, I have someone here who will never tell him the story. They mentioned the Sally house. Oh, wow.
Ah, just let them
Oh,
know
Shrub
that.
New World.
Yeah, I'll know who it is anyway. So
Oh, okay.
They are.
don't
Shrub
involve
New
me.
Owls
World.
are
What's that?
absolutely
Yeah,
stunning. Very spiritual animals. Very
Oh,
beautiful.
right, okay.
yeah. No, ghosts are too scary.
Aye.
I don't know much.
Make it helpful. If anybody does want to know their spirit guides, just meditate on it, guys.
Good job.
Sorry, my
Yeah,
nose needs
meditate
blowing.
on.
Hello, Phoenix says
Hello,
welcome in
Phonics.
to the third stream of the night. You're all very dedicated.
Maybe.
Thank you for coming.
There you
in,
go.
guys.
If anyone's got
Yeah, we
any
just want to
questions,
talk about the spirit. And the topics and things is in. Yeah, put them in the chat, guys.
yeah,
Not
if you got any
remember
questions,
roll
you
each
can
other's
put it
bones
in
as well.
there.
I think that when I've been going out investigating the last couple of months, I think that's
You're not
more
stepping on
to where I
anyone's
now
toes,
know a little
sweetheart.
bit more.
No, we all love owls
Weird World, you're
around
not
here.
stepping on
You're okay,
anyone's
Weird
toes.
World, don't you
You're
tell me?
more than welcome to
Fine.
openly here. As long you're fine.
Yeah, long as you're not mean to anyone, or
Yeah,
hey,
just
everyone's welcome.
respect. Say what you want.
No, it's free. You're safe here. This is a safe place.
That's the point. The point of these streams is to share your story. Yes. Remember, guys,
What?
that is why we do these streams. We maybe sit here and just talk amongst ourselves, but the reason we do the streams is really so
What's
that you guys feel as if you can open up. We
Yeah,
talk about the
good.
things that we go through, not because we want you to comment on that. We want you to say, "Oh, I've had a similar experience," and then talk about that. That's one
That's
of
a
the
good.
reasons we sit here
That's
and
a
chit
good.
chat. It's so you
Luna
remember
Rose. That's a
something.
great. Yeah.
Then
Sorry, Luna Rose. That's a great question. My answer is I'm not answering it because if I say what my
What was the
favorites
question?
are, right? If I say what my favorites are or my least favorites are,
Oh, right.
it might influence someone else, right? And I don't want someone feeling a certain way just because I do, right? You have to be yourself. You have to believe what you believe. You have to find your own niche, right? And be yourself because you only live once. You gotta love yourself, be yourself, believe in what you wish to believe in, and become who you're meant to be. I mean, I'm happy to teach, I'm happy to guide, I'm happy to do whatever I can, if I can, to help someone or inspire someone or whatever. But I'm not gonna put exactly that type of stuff out there because I don't want to influence. There's a different type of influence there. You know what I mean? So, yeah,
Yeah.
in my eyes, all is equal depending on what you feel and believe. So,
The thing is, guys, remember that nobody else can live your life for you. You've got to live your own life. So you've got it. Maybe even I woke up about 40 years of age, I do believe it was. So if you're younger than that and you've got an inclination that you want to change your life, definitely do it before it's too late, and try not to put it off any longer, because I put it off far too long, and I still do put a lot of things off, believe it or not, that I know I need to change on. People get scared to change. It is a
And
scary journey. If you're living a life right now that you know that you want to take your spirituality further, or whatever it may be further, definitely try it. And then if you could say that you tried it and it didn't work, if it all goes
for
thumbs
me,
up,
I think for me with the divination, there isn't anything that I dislike because everything that I'm in and everything that I am is something that I've chosen to be. We all have moments in our workings where we feel a bit frustrated or we can't get something to quite go right. We're all going to have that in all of our faiths, but I don't distinctly have one that I don't like. Everything that I do and I practice, I love and I have passion for. So
Mm.
if you've got things you're working with and you've got issues with it, then it's not the right path for you. You need to find something else because everything that you work in and you're working with should feel
Sometimes it's the
connected to you, you know. So
spirits that don't like it.
and you shouldn't dislike what you love doing
Welcome in, Stephanie.
in my
Right.
eyes. So if you've got something you're not really liking, then maybe you need to take a look at it and work on how to make it better, sort of thing.
Yeah, and it all boils down to what you believe anyway. In the end,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
anything
belief
you
is
do,
everything. If you don't have the belief or want to talk in it, then you're not going to help yourself,
yeah, it's
you
not
know.
it's not for you. You know, you absorb what is useful. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there's lots of different belief systems and everything else. Now, I believe 90% what Pup believes. I believe 90% what Buttons believes. Not 100%, but 90% of it I believe. Some of it I got to adapt a little bit for myself so that it makes sense to me. Some of it I could just take it raw and hey, yeah, that
Yeah.
works. Right? But if there's a belief that they have that I don't have that doesn't sit with me, discard it. But I take everything I can and everything that means something to me and everything that is useful to me and adapt it for myself. You know, your belief is your belief. You can believe whatever you want, you know, but as long as it's with love and respect and kindness and that's how you try to live your life, then you're golden. I mean, there's no worries about nothing.
You're very welcome. And it is
Yeah.
the truth. It is the truth. You are yourself. It's only you that knows your path and what you're most connected
I
to
was
and
going
what
to
you
say
think
something
most
there.
suits you. It's down to you. We can give you advice, we can give you readings, we could do whatever, but in the end, none of that's going to be if it's not you that puts the work into it. It's
Yeah.
just how it is.
Just remember, YouTube and
It's not
things
the
is a
earth that's
great
bumming us
place
down.
to go watch other people do a lot of things.
Good job, JR.
You go watch a lot of people, you go read a lot of books, and then you do what you think is you relate to. You could take a little bit of this, a little bit of that if you want.
We are all high beings, but this earth is bummed us down. Yeah, we
And you're
are
right
high
about
beings, but it's not the
society.
earth that's bummed you down. It's the things that the people put in the society that bums you down. It's not the earth itself or Mother Nature or anything like that. That's very good for you. It's the humanity itself and you know, the instructions and the things that they've built and the way that they've built this world that it brings you down. It isn't the world itself. It's
Yeah.
people and
And you know,
technology and all other
like
things.
speaking on that, you'll hear people talk about the elementals, right? And a lot of
Yeah.
times, a lot of people will talk negative about the elementals. I've never had that experience. For me, the elementals are glorious, wonderful beings, right? But now, keep in mind this: the elementals I'm talking about are not the same elementals someone else is talking about, right? There's no cookie cutter. Oh, well, there's only a fire elemental. There's only a wood elemental. There's only a water. There's only an air. You know,
No, there's loads.
there's only an earth elemental.
Mm.
No, that's five of them, right? But then from the wood elemental comes a tree elemental, comes a grass elemental, comes a straw elemental, comes a, you know what I mean? So the elementals, when I'm talking about
Yeah.
experiences with the elementals, I'm talking about the grandfathers, the 5 grandfathers, right? Those
Yeah.
are my elementals I work with. And they don't cause people problems. You know why? Because they don't give a crap about people. They're too old. We've only been here for like a blink of an eye to them. Okay.
Yeah.
And unless you've done something really bad to them that you've got their attention, they might give you
Yes.
a spanking, you know. Or if you've done something really good for them, like they might become your buddies and hang out with you, right? But there are so many different elementals. So if someone says, "Oh, this bad elemental in this building," it doesn't mean it's the type of elemental that I know. You understand? So you got to keep that in mind too, because you're going to run across.
Types.
You're going to run across in your life where you have a certain group of spirits that work with you all the time, and you cannot imagine them doing half the crap that they're talking about. Guess what? They're not. It's a part of their lineage, but not necessarily them, right? So keep that in mind too.
I've had it. I've had it where people have come in and
Right.
because I'm connected to Aura and Darius, and because the elemental, they're like, you work with evil and bad spirit. I'm like, no, I don't. If you actually knew them and had the connection with you that they do with me, you would understand they're not evil at all. Yeah, they're very powerful and that. I said you're getting mixed up with other ancestors to them, other energies of them. I said there isn't just these here. There's thousands and thousands of different elementals, and they've all got
Mhm.
different characteristics. You can't associate every single one of them to
Yeah,
being the same.
that's like
You
saying
know,
someone who rides a motorcycle is a bad person.
exactly. That doesn't mean that every
Not
motorcycle is really bad
Yeah,
because
you
one is,
can't
you know what I
do
mean?
every
That's what
motorcycle is
I'm
good.
saying.
that.
And
There's
you know
good and
what?
bad
They're
in
not all
everything.
good either. They're not all good either.
It,
You know what I'm saying?
Like what I
So
the
said.
I
fact
mean,
in the fact is
Yeah,
the world
well,
is good and bad, and that means that anything that is part of this world is good and bad. There's good and bad in
yeah,
everything.
you know,
You know what I mean?
it's like I say, don't
it's just the way
bias
it is,
an opinion.
guys.
It's
Don't judge the book till
just
you
like
know the
people,
cover.
right? Just like people, right? You judge a person for who they are, right? Doesn't matter
Yeah.
anything else. You judge this brother this way because this brother is that way, but his
Hmm.
other brother, who's absolutely nothing like him, you judge differently,
Hmm.
right? And the other brother, you can take him or leave him,
Yeah.
right? Same thing in the spirit world, the elemental world, the everything there is. You're going to find good and bad,
Yeah.
regardless, you know, and some that are just
My,
neutral.
my auntie always just used to say, "Don't judge a book by its cover."
Well, there's that too.
You know,
Yeah.
you can look at a cover and think what you want, but you don't know what's truly inside till you actually get to know it. So,
Yeah. And the other, one of the main questions that I've been asked through the
Yes.
years: how do you know if the spirit guide is good? How do you know if you should trust the spirit guide? Blah 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 blah. Okay, here's the thing: don't trust any spirit until they've proven that they can be trusted. Just like people, you don't just decide some stranger walking down the street. Here's the keys to my car. Take a
You
ride. Let me know.
know. Yes.
Right? Let me know what you think. Why would you say to a spirit, "Okay, go ahead, be part of me and take me for a ride and see how it goes"? No, you got to get to know them just like a human being, whether or not this
Remember,
person's going to
everything
be
is
your friend.
energy.
Whether or not this person's going to be your friend, you got to earn the trust with each other, and you got to learn about each other and find out if you actually are compatible or not. And if you are, you become friends. But if you can't stand each other, you're not going to be friends.
Yeah.
You say, "Oh, that's an associate," right?
yeah,
Not
like me and
necessarily
Aura and
friends.
Darius and everything and so on.
Same thing. Same thing with any spirit guide, or if you're going to have a spirit guide.
You're
If you're
using
wondering,
one.
if you're wondering, and here's what I tell everybody: if you're wondering if your spirit guide is a good one, you don't know him well enough that he should be a spirit guide yet. Okay, not until that spirit
Hmm.
has earned your trust and it trusts you completely, and you guys are real good friends do you offer them the position of being the guide? Okay. There's going to be 100 different great spirits out there that are going to offer to be your spirit guide. They can offer it, but you have to be the one to accept it, right? Don't accept it until you can trust that
Yeah.
spirit. It's that simple. You know, if you got a sneaky suspicion or you just feel off about it or whatever, then don't accept it, period. Right? Or on the same hand, if it's too good to be true, wait and see. Right? It's all about whether or not you connect, and it's all about whether or not you learn about each other and or you trust each other or whatever. There's no rush to get one. You take your time, you get to know the spirit, and if that spirit proves trustworthy, just like a person, then you can become friends and slowly build that friendship. So say, okay, you could be my spirit advisor, right? And if that spirit advisor advises you well for a long period of time, you might give them a promotion to your spiritual guide. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't ever rush into that. You know, take your time, get to know your spirit guides before you give them the title. Because once you give them the title of your spirit guide, it's hard work to get rid of them. Okay?
It
It's
is.
tough to get rid
It's
of
like
them.
I never used to call all of my guides and stuff like that. It used to be spirit helpers at first because I needed to get to know her. And even though
Right.
she's been with me since birth, I still had to build that relationship with her. So from 5 up till I was about 12, 13, it was getting to know each other. And then I was like, she's my spiritual helper. He's my
Right.
spiritual helper.
That's
And now
all
they are
right.
spirit guides. They have been for years. But you can't just jump into a relationship with them and then automatically call them a spirit guide. There's so much you need to learn about each other. And you need to learn what
Yeah.
buttons to push and
There'll
what
be
not to
things
push,
that
how
they
to act
do
with each
that'll
other,
earn
things
that
they like,
title.
how they act, their favorite things that they like, because you've got to remember as well, having these guides, you've always got to give them things that they enjoy as well, because they're there constantly helping you, they're part of you. So all of that's very important,
Right.
Yeah.
definitely. And testing how loyal they are to you as well as you being loyal
If
to
you
them.
show dedication,
Like I
they'll
had
show
times where
dedication to
Aura and
you.
Darius would be taking
Yeah.
me out to places, and
Do
they would
you,
test. We tested each other's loyalty to each other, and that's how we established our
yeah.
relationship.
You want to say that
So
again, Buttons?
Yeah.
Say that again, Buttons?
I was saying that you've got to build up the trust between each other. There'll be things that happen that you'll know that you can trust them. You build up every situation. You'll build up a bit more bit of trust.
Yeah.
And if you
That's
are
it.
an investigator and you've got a box and things on, you'll hear them because you'll hear them in the background, the warning places. That's how I tell people a lot of the places that they go, because the spirit box is saying get out, run. Most times that's going to be your guys letting you know that you have to get out of that place.
oh, it is, because I don't run from anything. But if you see Sherry run from an investigation, it's
Sorry,
because
guys, it's breaking
Darius,
up.
Aura, or Astro or Shakara has told me to bolt it. That is the only time you'll ever see me run, is when they tell me, and there's a reason for why they do it.
Yeah,
So
it's when you're
Okay.
watching others investigators do it, and you hear haunted finders is the ideal example because they go into all the crazy woods, and usually by the time they get to the part that is looking spooky to us, the spirit box and things is starting to say, get out, run, devil, not nice, all the typical words that's going to get your back up to run, you know.
yeah,
And most of the time, if they continue and don't listen to the box, that's when one of them end up getting scratched or not so nice, something happening to them. So you've got to listen
Yeah.
to them. Don't just have guides
you
Yeah.
do
to
have to
be there and
listen
say,
to them.
oh, hi. Listen to
You
them.
Yeah,
do.
Tina, if a spirit looks directly at you and looks you in the eye, that's a good sign, okay? And if they smile and it's not a like a evil smile, they look at you and they smile and you can see it in their eyes. if it's that clear to you, okay, that spirit is offering to be one of your guides, okay? Because they only make themselves that clear is if they're offering you friendship, okay?
Yeah.
So I would say, sounds good. Look back at her in the eye and say, if you want to get to know each other and become friends and see where it goes from there, I'm game, right? And then just build up your relationship slowly. And if it does turn out to be someone that's supposed to be there for you, you'll find out. But that would be that's what I would say. Like, when I first saw Astro, okay, I was 5 years old. I was drowning. And he was sitting in a tree. And for whatever reason, he took the form of a gargoyle. And he was sitting there laughing at me, right, as I'm splashing around in the water. And then he looked off to the distance, looked back at me. And the next thing I know, 2 white wolves came and grabbed my shirt and pulled me to land, okay? And then they looked at me, the wolves, and they gave me one of these on the head. And they started walking down the beach, and they vanished, and their footprints vanished and everything else. And I'm like, okay. And then I turned around and I looked at Astro up in the tree. And it didn't dawn on me that he sent the damn wolves in the first place. Like that, I'm a 5-year-old. What am I going to know? But he called the wolves to come help me. And he's laughing at me, right? So I looked up at him. And the first thing I ever said to Astro was, well, thanks a lot, butthead. Laughing at me, was basically my first sentence to him. I called him a butthead, which, of course, he burst out even laughing harder and just thought it was so funny. He thought it was hilarious that I turned around and called him a butthead, right? And the first words he ever said to me at that point was that day, he says, I like you, kid. I'm going to be with you. And that was it, right? So after a while, at first, I didn't like him. I didn't trust him. I thought he was a dick. But then later I started to realize, wait, if it wasn't for him, I'd been dead. He sent the wolves to help me. Right? I didn't realize that at the time. But as I got to know him and realized, oh, man, Astro's got a heart of gold. And he's hilarious, right? He's got the weirdest sense of humor you ever saw. But, hey, as you get to know him, you realize just how gentle he can be, right? He can be very gentle. He can be brutal, but he's normally very gentle and jokes around a lot and teases everybody if he can, right?
Oh, yeah. Don't know about it.
Once I learned about him more, and the more I learned about him, and the closer we became, he's not a guide. He's my brother. We became brothers, right?
Yeah.
And Shakara is my sister, right? So they're not really spirit guides. They're my brother and sister, right? And it's just that we got that close, for so long. Over 50 years, we've been chumming out, together, right? So, again, it's all about...
Put your best interests at heart.
Yeah, like, get to know them before you make anything, just let's get to be friends, You think first time I saw Astro, I was all gung-ho to see. First time I saw the dude, he was a gargoyle. Second time I saw him, he was a skeleton. He looked exactly like Ghost Rider. Flames coming off his head, breathing fire, making smart remarks to me and stuff. And like we're in the boat, okay? We're in the boat, and I'm trying to bait
Well, she
my hook.
thought he was watching you drown.
I'm putting my bait on my hook, eh? And he leans over, looks at me, looks at the little minnow, looks back at me, looks at the minnow, says, are we going to fish today, or are you going to play with that thing all day? Put it on the hook. Let's go. That type of stuff. He was, and it was just that type of, he was always dattering me about something, right? And I'd datter him back. And that's really how our friendship started, is we're kind of nattering each other, like, hey, your coffee's getting cold. Well, sit on it and keep it warm for me till I get there, type of thing going on between us. Anyway, so get to know your spirit. Give them any juice.
They're quite scary to come across, really, because of the way that they look. I remember when I was 5 years old and I first see Aura, it was because I was crying and screaming in my cot, and she decided to walk in. She's got the most orangest eyes because of obviously the fire. There was flames coming from her hand. She's got this special head thing that catches fire. And I was, you know, a 5-year-old in the cot, I was just like, stood there like just froze, and she put her hand out, and like very, very slowly I put my hand, and she just looked at me and she just went like that. And I was just like froze because I'm like, what the hell? And
Yeah.
I was very scared of her at first. Like anytime she would turn up, I would hide in my closet or hide somewhere to try and get under my bed to try and get away from her. And she'd always put her head under the bed, like, why are you hiding? I can find you. But in the end, I didn't get used to it. You know what I mean? But at first, she scared the hell out of me. So did
Well, yeah.
Astro when I first see him. When he come through my bedroom door, I was like, what the? That was nice as well.
That was funny. You should tell, in case anyone hasn't heard, Pup was doing a thing on her channel, and a nasty one got in and was trying to attack Pup. And Astro go ahead and tell, Astro took offense to it. Tell anyone who might not know that.
Like literally, I was on my stream and I was trying to get rid of this negative energy he was here, and it was giving me a bit of crap. And everybody was trying to get rid of him, but he weren't having none of it. So Aura's like, I think there's somebody that needs to come here. And I was like, right, okay. Not thinking it was going to be Astro, and because I'd never seen Astro apart from on the camera behind Pups. Okay. So I'm sitting here and he's giving the mouth, and you hear just like this massive charge into my house. And I'm like, right, what the hell's that? He comes through the door. I'm sitting on the panel, and I'm like looked at him. He's literally turned at the spirit. The spirit's like trying to give the mouth, and he's grabbed him and he goes, I don't think you're going to talk to my daughter like that. Straight out the bloody window. I was like, what the hell's just happened there? And then I was like, oh my God, it's Astro. Yeah, Aura had to calm down and she goes, it's Dad, don't panic, it's Dad. And I'm like, right, okay. Like, it literally, I'm telling you, he's so big, it scared the crap out of me. I thought Aura was big, right? But when he come in, the way that he grabbed that spirit and threw it out the window, it was like a rag doll, literally a rag doll. It just out. The really deepest voice, I don't think so, you're not going to pick on my door. Bang, straight out. I was just like, wow.
I didn't see him, but I felt his presence behind me when I was doing Uncle Danny's prayers.
Presence. Very powerful.
And I knew instantly it was Astro when I felt the hugeness and the intensity.
And I've had a lot
I don't know what I would do if I run into him face to face right enough.
I've had a lot of jokes stuff with Astro. My worst one was the bath. Okay, I had a pretty crappy day. I was not in the best of moods, and Astro thought he'd come over and cheer me up. Okay, but it didn't end up with cheer up. It ended up with a couple of cuss words right at him, because I'm thinking, right, how can I calm myself down? I'll make a nice spiritual bath and I'll run my bath. Astro decides he thought it'd be funny to get in the bath under the water. And I go in and I'm just moving my water across because I put my salts in. Astro grabs my hand and pulls me under the water, and I get up going, ah! I cussed him for a good 20 minutes. Like, you blah, blah, and all that. And he's like, it made you laugh in the end, though, didn't it? I was like, yeah, but I thought you was trying to kill me. Why would you do that? And Pups already knew, because when I messaged him, he goes, I already knew. Because literally, he'd done that. Going, you're right. Did you get a visit from Astro? What happened? And I just messaged him back saying he tried pulling me in the bath, dressed in my bra and knickers. So I was still kind of dressed, do you know what I mean? And he was like, oh my God, right, yeah, I know. And I was like, how do you know? He goes, he's back here laughing his head off, saying you should have seen her face when I done it. Oh my God. I do laugh at it now because it was funny and it did take me out of that mood after. Like, I did sit there and like giggle after, but at the time I weren't amused. I just because all I see was his face that just looked like it had a bowl of water in it, and I just thought it was something like not nice. And then obviously when he started to light up because of his flames and stuff, I knew it was him, and I was like, you blah blah blah, like just went nuts at him, like literally.
Yeah, Lou, like Astro loves the the look of the Grim Reaper of Ghost Rider, sort of a deal. Like
Oh, he does, yeah.
he was here and in that form long before the Ghost Rider magazine ever came out. But I mean, he does look like a Ghost Rider does look like him, you know. Except Astro usually wears a cape with the hood part on it,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. Doesn't wear a leather jacket, you know. But
Right.
he dresses in black and he has like a hood and whatever. But he always does that.
Talk about it, Eva. Evie's asking if she
You
can talk
certainly
about
can,
those
Evie.
she's seen Aspen in the Grove.
I was in South when I showed up.
Put it in the chat and I'll
Oh, they were
put it up, sis.
They could have very well done. He's been around for
Could be,
a long
Christina.
time. Long time.
Christina's saying maybe somebody's seen Astro and that's where the character came from.
Yeah. And I said, yeah, it could be.
You never know.
He's been here for thousands and thousands of years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't it's great working with all the different energies, guys. That's why we always tell you to enjoy your journey, because all these things will happen to you as well. You'll find entities that's funny, you'll find entities and ghosts that you're scared shitless. Enjoy the process. Well, we are at that hour, guys.
Rewarding.
So, is there any you want to say before we go? Because we have got a lot going on tonight.
Yeah, Evie wants to tell a quick story. She's typing a quick story there about Astro.
Yeah, I went to every story. I'm just all the time. We have got Stephanie tomorrow night, guys, on Mystical Loving Lights channel, so definitely try and come over to that. It will be 11 p.m. UK time. We're going to be talking to Stephanie about our UFO experiences.
Tina was talking about Ash.
No?
Tina was talking about Ash when Ash decided, yeah, I'm going to go there.
Yeah. Put it up for you guys.
Yeah, he is kind of famous, I guess.
Yeah. He's definitely a famous image. Thank you, JR Official. Thank you, buddy. Remember, Uncle Danny does readings on a Monday night on his channel, guys, Chasing Bones Inspectors. Usually we do a bit of a community tarot night where maybe you'll have like 3 of us up and we'll just do what we did to people in the chat that wants a tarot. So definitely check out everybody's channels, because there's always somebody in our community live. Always. You'll find one of us live at all times.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of shows.
Yeah, and I'm going to go as well.
There's quite a lot of shows.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on this weekend. Sis, you've got a show as well, aren't you? You're going to show them how you cross the spirits over, aren't you?
On Sunday night? I'm going to be doing it on Sunday because there's shows on Saturday as well. So I'm going to be learning people how to do the crossings from home, but also learning you how to do the crossings when you go on an investigation so that you can do it that way. So the first one I will explain before I start, but then when I'm doing the actual crossing, it's a real crossing of real spirits. So I won't be talking very much in the chat, but the one after is where I'm going to be learning you how to do it as an investigator. So I will be explaining all of the things you need to do in that one. And there would be certain prayers and stuff, but you don't have to follow them prayers. You can use your own. Yeah. It's just a guide to go by. And then obviously Pup shows on Monday, because on Monday it's mine and Pup show. We have the show with him on his channel and then the show on my channel. So that's 8:30. and 11.
Yeah, Evie just put in when Astro showed up and took her to the grove when she needed it that time. If you highlight it,
Right, wait till we put it up.
He was beautiful. A large Chinese dragon,
Wait till
no
we fix
wings
it,
or
guys.
legs,
Right,
golden
here we go.
feathers that looked like a heart. Oh, wow. That looked like
yeah,
a
that's
heart.
his. That's one of his dragon forms.
Of a fire. With
Because
glitters of rubies.
this is slow. I don't know why it's slow tonight.
When he's
That's beautiful. He's got a beautiful way there.
yeah, when he's in his dragon form, he's called Astro Blaze. And his full name is Astro Blaze. That's his full name.
Sorry,
And when he's
guys,
in
it's
dragon
laggy.
form, when he's in the fire dragon form,
Right.
everyone calls him Astro Blaze. But it's just Astro's other form, one of his, many forms.
Yeah, she's saying that he was like a Chinese dragon with no
Oh, wow.
no wings or golden feathers that looked like a heart of fire with glitters of rubies. He moved through the cosmos. He glittered beautifully.
Yep. Yeah, that's how I see him.
Wow.
Stunning. He's remarkable. They're all
That's
remarkable. They can turn into some
Yes,
amazing
that-
things. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, I chuckled when you told me that. Because Astro doesn't, he seems to show the forms that
It's
a
a
person
special
needs,
journey, guys, honestly.
He shows you what you need to see, and that's his peace form when he's in Fire Dragon. Now his Fire Dragon form is a lot scarier, he still kind of looks the same, but he does have huge wings and he does have arms and claws and the whole 9 yards. But when he's doing stuff like that, he's trying to allow you to feel his inner peace and his inner contentment and stuff like that. So he's showing you basically who he is in a way so that you can understand, But yeah, that's his name. When he's dragon form, he's Astral Blaze. That's who he is.
I bet it was beautiful to see.
He just makes it.
Yeah, well, when he's around, that's for sure. Temperature goes up by 5,000 degrees, type
Yeah,
deal.
he'd be beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
He looked at.
Sorry, guys, it is coming in on our side. I can only hear every second word.
Yep. Yeah, took you to the grove. Yeah.
Putting it
That's
up,
good.
try to highlight it. It's just slow. He took me and my animal kint grey wolf squirrel. Right.
No, that's
That-
cute.
Yeah, it brought him to the
nice.
grove and yeah. So
Remember the grove's there, guys, for you all to refresh your energy as well.
yep, that's why it's there. Okay, I guess that's it
Just
for
ask if
me.
you're allowed to enter when you
Yeah.
get to the doors, the gates. Me as well, guys. I'm going to
It's
go
like
and
11
we
plus
have
1.
streamed 3 times tonight, Uncle Danny and I. So
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
So I'm going to end it for now, guys. So my advice is just keep an eye on everybody's channel all weekend because there'll be loads coming up, and YouTube isn't great with notifications. So just keep an eye on everybody's channel is my best advice for you. So I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll let yours two say goodbye as well.
All right,
Love, light.
blessings. Well, we'll talk to you later.
Love, light, and blessings, guys. Thank you.
Bye, guys. See you all soon. We'll play the outro, okay?
Oh, good.
Show. I'll just end the live because it's taking too long for the banner to come up. It's terrible. very lagging.